And bases. Let's take a look at the concept first. The first concept that we'll look at is the Arrhenius concept. Okay. Arrhenius said that if a compound is an acid, it has to be able to produce hydrogen ion. Sometimes we call it proton. For example, HCl, which we know is hydrochloric acid, and it is an acid. So you can see that HCl here can produce H plus. You see here. So this is an Arrhenius acid. Okay, and other one is like something like nitric acid. Okay, because nitric acid has this H plus. Okay, this can produce H plus and then nitrate ion. So HNO3 is an Arrhenius acid. What about Arrhenius base? Arrhenius base is any compound that can produce hydroxide ion. For example, sodium hydroxide. You can see that it produces sodium ion and the hydroxide ion. Other ones is like calcium hydroxide. This is also an Arrhenius base. Okay. Another model of acids and bases is called the Bronsted-Lowry model. According to this model, acid is slightly different. Acid is any compound that can donate H+. Well, pretty much similar, okay, but the base is different because in the other one, okay, so this one, Arrhenius said a base is any compound that can produce hydroxide, but Bronsted base is any compound that can accept a proton. So let's take a look at this equation. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's use different color. Okay, so you can see that in this equation right here, okay, in this equation, okay, the one I just highlight here, according to this model, acid is any compound that can donate a proton. So this is the acid. Why? Because it's donating the H plus to water. Water acts as a base because it accepts the H plus from the acid. And then what happened? After the HA gives out the H plus, itself becomes an anion. And then because this water here accept the H plus from HA, now it becomes H3O plus, which sometimes we call hydronium ion. Okay, so let's take a look at this again. Okay, now if this is the acid, okay, and this is the base. Now that is a forward reaction. Now what happened is that sometimes the reaction can go backwards. So if it does go backward, you can see that now we have to focus on these two guys here. What happened is that this H3 hydronium ion, okay, it will act as an acid because in order for it to go backwards, it has to donate a proton to the anion, this A minus. Okay, so what we're saying here is that we're saying that the relationship, okay, between acid and base, acid and conjugate base, and base is conjugate acid. Let me show you the relationship here. Okay, let's take a look. You see this acid, and this is conjugate base. How do you identify acid conjugate base? The relationship is only one H plus difference. You see that? Okay, so if we're gonna look at the other one, this one, you see this is the base, right? Okay, and then now this is conjugate acid. So the difference again is just one H plus. Okay, so now let's try. Let's try moving down to this this equation here. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at HCl. Okay, and then water, and then chloride ion, and then this one. Okay, so you can see that this is the acid. Okay, you can see that this is the acid. Okay, this is the acid, right? It donates the H plus to water. Because now, once it donates the H plus, it becomes the conjugate base. And then on the other hand, this one, because it accepts the H plus, it becomes the hydronium ion, becomes the conjugate acid. So this is the acid and this is the conjugate base. And then this one is the base and this is its conjugate acid. Okay. All right. Let's try doing this. Okay. For each of the following chemical reaction, identify the acid conjugate base pair. You can see that if you look over here, HF, and this is the fluoride ion. Okay. You can see that this is the acid. Donate the proton to water, and itself becomes the conjugate base. Now, on the other hand, because this is a base, because accept the H plus from HF, now itself becomes the hydronium ion. This is a conjugate acid. So this is acid, and this is its conjugate base. And then this is the base, and this is its conjugate acid. Okay, so you see here, okay, so this is the acid, and this is conjugate base. And then this is the base, and this is conjugate acid. You see the relationship here? Okay, let's try. Okay. Let's try looking at the other one. Okay. Okay, so you can see this one here. Okay. You said this is, what do you think? Okay, what do you think about this one? Okay. It doesn't have H plus, so it cannot be acid. So it has to be a base, right? So it accepts the H plus from water. So because this is a base, accept the H plus, becomes the conjugate acid. Now on this one here, okay, this is of an acid because it donates the H plus to the cyanide. So now itself become a conjugate base. So this is the acid, and this is the base, okay, and this is conjugate acid, and this is a conjugate base. All right. Okay, let's go down and look over here. Look at this, and what do you think? You can see that what happened. You can look at this one. What happened? You look at the product side, it has one extra proton, right? So this has to be a base, and this is conjugate acid. And then you look over here, since this is a base, this has to be the acid, and this has to be conjugate base, just like that. Okay. So now, as you can see, that if you look at this carefully, the difference between the base and the conjugate acids is just only one H plus different. One H plus, not two, just one. Okay, so I want you to be able to identify which one of these are actually conjugate acid base pair. You can see that this is the acid and this is conjugate base. So yes, this is acid conjugate base pair. And then what about B? This one and this one, the difference is one H plus. So yes, this is conjugate acid base pair. These two are not even related to one another. This one has chloride, this one doesn't. So nope, this one is not. Okay. Now this one, H2CO3 and then HCO3 negative. So definitely in order to go from here to here, you have to lose one H plus. So yes, this is a conjugate acid base pair. What about this? You can see that this one has 3 hydrogens. This one has only 1. So the difference is 2 hydrogens. So this one cannot be acid conjugate base pair. And then this one has oxygen. This one doesn't. Nope. This one is not the conjugate acid base pair. Okay. So next one, okay, we're gonna look at the strength of the acid. So most of the time, well, what we have been learning so far, we kind of focus on the acid that we call strong acid, meaning that if you have 100 molecule of HA, when you dissolve it into water, you will not have any of the HA left at all because all of it will dissociate to produce the hydronium ion and then the anion, basically the conjugate base. So you have one molecule of this, one molecule of that. You don't have any of this left at all because it is a strong acid. Okay. So here's a definition. And you need to know your seven strong acid. Okay, so we know that already. Hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic acid, hydroiodic acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, um, no, sorry, this is chloric acid, and this is perchloric acid. Okay. Now let's take a look at some of the weak acid. Okay, if it's not strong, it has to be weak. And then usually for weak acid, we like to symbolize it by using Ha. Okay, A can be any anion, it can be nitrate, it can be cyanide, and so on. So let's say this is a weak acid. Let's say if you have 100 molecule of this, okay, dissolve into water. Maybe you might have just 3 molecule of this and 3 molecule of that. So we said that the percent of ionization is like 3%. So mainly the molecule will exist in this original molecule, which is Ha. Okay. Some examples of the weak acid include hydrofluoric acid. Okay, so this goes into water, produce a conjugate base, and then because water acts as a base, and this is conjugate acid. Okay. So because we learned about equilibrium already, so we sometimes chemists like to use the chemical equilibrium constant to indicate how strong the acid is. For example, you know that HF is a weak acid. Okay, so when you put into the water, it produces the conjugate base and then conjugate acid. So it kind of exists like this in the equilibrium. So we know how to write the chemical equilibrium expression. So you put the product on top like this too, and then you put the reactant in the bottom. We don't include water because we have so much of it. It will essentially become constant. And then you can see that when you do this, you can look at the ratio. Ka is basically the ratio of the product over reactant. If the Ka is high, that means you have a lot of product. That means that this acid is pretty strong. Now, if the Ka is small, so that means that you don't have much of the product. Most of it stay intact as the reactant, so that means that the acid is weak. Okay, so to summarize it, the bigger the Ka, the stronger the acid. Okay. So this table, okay, is talking about strong acid and a weak acid. Okay, so strong acid, the forward reaction, that means that this one going forward like this is predominant. Weak acid, the reverse reaction, this direction is predominant. Okay, and then this also talks about. Okay. So you can see that if it is a strong acid, the anion here is going to be a weaker base. And then if it's a weak acid, this is going to be a stronger base. Okay. This is just a diagram that show you that comparing the strong acid and the weak acid. Okay, and then we can make it a little bit smaller actually. Let's make it a little bit smaller so you can see that okay, this is Ha, water, and ion hydronium. If it's strong acid, okay, this is what you started with. At the end, you see you don't have any Ha left at all. okay, because all of it ionizes and produce the H plus or hydronium ion and the anion. And then if it's a weak acid, this is what you started with. At the final amount, you still have a lot of HA. You barely have any anion and the hydronium ion. This is just kind of a diagram showing you. I think I'm going to stop right here, and then we'll talk about the type of acids later. Okay.